This video is meant to showcase the physical copies in the console games that you'll typically see on my channel, in no particular order besides the one shown in the thumbnail. So I'll begin with Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition, which includes all of the DLC released for the game. Comes in a 2-disc set for the Xbox 360 copy. I played this on my Xbox One. It also comes with a physical instruction guide and I think that's actually a map in the back there. It's a fairly old classic game at this point, although I remember when this was first released, I was actually quite impressed with it. The only one better out of the newer releases, at least as far as I'm concerned, is Fallout New Vegas, which I don't currently have a copy of, but I'm working on that. It may be possible to find one, I've yet to find out, but I hope it isn't nearly... I got this one used, if I were to round up, for about $15, and I'm hoping that Fallout New Vegas, with all of the DLC included, will be at a comparable price. The next one, of course, is Skyrim. Of course, everybody knows how much I love this one. Doesn't actually have the physical disc in the case because that's what's in my console right now, but I must have owned a separate physical copy of Skyrim at least 4 times by now. I've owned the original Xbox 360 version, I've owned the PS4 version, I've owned the Switch version, I've owned the Xbox One version. They haven't released one for the current generation simply because it's been released over and over again. And there are so many copies available for the Xbox One and the PS4, it's not even funny. But you can find this one almost anywhere. I like the Special Edition more than I like the Anniversary Edition, I will disclose that much. I don't mind playing mods, but they have to be to my liking. That sounds strange, I know, but generally speaking, I prefer vanilla games over modded games. It's simply a personal preference of mine. Although I will say that for the Anniversary Edition of Skyrim, the armor sets included with it are actually very impressive. I especially liked the soldier's steel armor for the characters. More often than not, I do play a warrior type out of the Skyrim characters I make. Next one is Resident Evil 4. It's an old favorite of mine. Now, a long while back, after my channel reached 20 subscribers, I did play Resident Evil 4 in its entirety as sort of a 20 subscriber celebration. I found an Xbox One copy. From what I understand, it's actually fairly rare to find a physical copy for the Xbox One, but here we go. This is the original release for Resident Evil 4, not the remastered, mind you. But I remember getting this game on the GameCube when it was first released a while ago. And that was long before I had any sort of internet presence, too. I mean, besides an email address. Even right now, it's fairly minimal. But I decided to snap this up while I could. And, of course, the original release of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Very cheap, pre-owned. Sorry, I'm holding my phone with my right hand and trying to open these with my left. Now, of course, this also comes with all of the available DLC for the original Oblivion release, given the fact that it is another Game of the Year edition. Bethesda used to be great. But of course, as soon as I found this again, and as soon as I had an Xbox One available, snap this up right away. And of course, the next one is Doom 3, the BFG edition specifically. There have been a few iterations of this game, and I like the installment of the Doom franchise, but the problem is Doom 3 didn't have a very good reception when it was first released. People felt that, at least at the time, they felt that it strayed from the source material, and they're not wrong. It was their attempt at a survival horror game rather than a so-called run and gun or arena shooter. Trying to hold my phone carefully here. Now, of course, the BFG edition of Doom 3 comes with all of the classic Doom games as well, including Doom 64, the N64, the Nintendo 64 edition. And I like the installment, but I understand why it was a failed reboot. I'll concede to that. Regardless, I'm glad I found this. Now, of course, City Skylines. I love good city builder. SimCity just isn't what it used to be, and it's kind of hard to find physical copies of those games anymore, let alone something that would actually play a physical copy that you could find. But City Skyline is similar enough. This is the Xbox One edition. It's fairly difficult to find. Comes in a 1-disc set. Yeah, there we are. And to be honest, I like the PS4 edition more than the Xbox One edition, but there's a reason I decided to sell my PS5. I liked it, but it was fairly expensive to maintain. The peripherals and the accessories available, you could only get one type of peripheral and one type of accessory for the PS5. It was not particularly versatile. There weren't a lot of third-party accessories available for it. So if I wanted to save a bit of money, I decided to go back to the previous generation and get an Xbox One. That's the only reason I really did that. They also had more games that I liked. And I was very fortunate to find a City Skyline Xbox One edition. So I special ordered this one. Now, Stardew Valley, I don't really have a copy for the Xbox One. I still have my PS4 edition, but I wouldn't dare sell a hard copy of Stardew Valley, simply because these days they're very difficult to find, at least in disc form. I've seen Switch cards, but it's very difficult to find a disc like this. If you'll notice, it comes with a CD here, the Stardew Valley soundtrack. I actually have 2 of these CDs, including this one, and that's a physical copy, but of course I can't play this on the Xbox One console. I suppose I could get a digital copy, but at the same time, it's not necessarily a pressing matter, at least not right now. But I'm going to keep this PS4 copy because you never know if I'm going to get a PlayStation 4 again or anything like that. So it's worth keeping. Now, one I've never actually played before, Red Dead Redemption 2, but I couldn't pass this one up. It's one of the few new copies of a game that I have specifically for the Xbox One. I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I'm saving this for later. It's not necessarily in my normal MO, so to speak, but I have every reason to have a copy of this. For one thing, I love Westerns. So, I'll see how it goes when I do start playing this, and of course I'll probably make a video series when I do. So if you're interested, please keep an eye out for that. Lastly, Forza 6. I love a good racing game. Now, of course, this is an Xbox One copy, Specifically, I like the Need for Speed series. But Forza is also a pretty good game. I admit I haven't really gotten into it as much as the other ones, but it was worth getting at least one relatively recent Forza installment in my collection, so I don't regret buying this. Even though it was still fairly expensive used, but beggars can't be choosers, I suppose. I couldn't find a Need for Speed installment while I was at the store, which is unfortunate, but I would want to get one that's relatively recent, either an Xbox 360 or an Xbox One installment. So I'm not sure. I may or may not make a video series of this. We'll have to see how it goes. And that covers my entire physical collection for console games. Go ahead and do a close-up of the mascot here. It's my succulent. My wife got this for me, and let me tell you, it's grown. I'm thinking about giving this thing a new pot. Alright, I'll catch y'all later. Thank you for watching.